Ha, yeah, y'all know what time it is. So just sit back and relax because the show's about to start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And we are live. Welcome to Down to Earth Talk, a real life talk show for real life people. We are here to spread joy in the world, understanding that there is goodness everywhere, even in life's challenges, because you are that goodness. That's you. My name is Danny Eley. I'm the Executive Director of ATAP Family Services. Joined with me is Chris Cheek.
What's up?
Correctly.
I love it.
Chris is our Senior Program Director.
Yes.
As well as a bunch of other things. He has a bunch of slashes next to his name. And Chris, why don't you introduce our guests and what we're going to be talking about today?
So today we have with us Sandra, Michelle, and Alia. Did I get it right?
Alia Kuraishi.
Today they were the Department of Rehabilitation.
Correct.
And I'm excited to learn a little bit more. I don't know all the things that you guys are doing, but I'm excited to learn about what you guys are doing and what's going on. So welcome.
I'm super excited to be a part. Department of Rehabilitation is about serving people with disabilities. Our main goal is to have our consumers get back into the workforce. We want them gainfully employed. We serve about 100,000 consumers a year. We are federally funded. We're a state agency, but we're federally funded. Federal dollars about 78%. Our independent living is at 20.
We have, there's 28 independent living centers throughout the state of California. And with that, they're actually funded from our reimbursement dollars. So when we have somebody that we're working with that is looking for employment and they may be a beneficiary of Social Security benefits, so disability insurance, anything along those lines, what ends up happening, we help them get employment, and then after that, we get reimbursed by the federal government. And with those funds, we actually run our independent living centers throughout the state of California. So not just employment, we're also helping on the independent living side. But our mission and goals are to help Californians with disabilities become gainfully employed, like Sandra Michelle said, but with that comes independence and a lot more equality among the culture.
You know, that's one of the things with All Things Are Possible that we do in some of our senior centers, right? Is we continue to strive by doing maybe some case management work or just offering resource referrals and helping them live self-sufficiently, like independently. That sounds really cool to me because honestly, our heart is to help people, and that's something that you guys are doing. If somebody was to walk through your front doors, wherever those doors are, because I don't, how many centers do you have?
We have 85 offices throughout the state of California. We have offices from the border all the way up to the Oregon state line.
Yes.
Go Oregon, go Ducks.
And I'm in the Riverside office, but we definitely cover all of the state of California. So we're here to take care of everybody.
What happens? I mean, somebody's got to walk in through your doors. What's kind of the rollout? What's kind of the process of here I am?
So they would call Department of Rehabilitation and they would set themselves up for an orientation.
Okay.
At which point they would come in through the orientation and a counselor like Alia would go in and start giving them information about what our services are.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have contracts throughout the state of California with the community colleges, with the high schools. We have a huge push currently with new regulations that came out to be working with the youth in the schools, start getting them interested in employment sooner rather than later. So we work with the high schools throughout the state, the community colleges, the state schools, the Cal States throughout everywhere. We also have contracts with county mental health and traumatic brain injury programs. I mean, we kind of get referrals from anywhere.
Say you have an 18-year-old that's about to graduate, and I mean, they're overcoming some of their own disability, right? Like, so are they kind of in a broke down affair, like in a state of mind where they're like, I don't know what to do? Is that where you guys like advocate for them and help push them? Or do you kind of pull out the gifting that's in them and say, there's more to this?
Well, I work more on with them as far as the gifting that's in them. But the counselor, they start with the counselor, and Alia can go a little bit over of what the counselors, how they prepare them, some of the things they do for them.
So yeah, when we first are meeting with even our students, you know, young people, we're working with them as early as 14 now, and just kind of getting their interest in there, find out what they are passionate about and trying to hone those skills and get that to either some training and then employment or employment right away and get that interest going. And I think you had asked like broken down this and that, and you have to have good counselors that are out there. I would say I worked as a counselor for most of my career, and you need those cheerleaders in there, the ones that are going to get them excited about it and get their parents involved. And it's a group effort to get them, you know, it's a village.
Oh, yes. Do you have any stories you could share with us?
Yes. So right about the time that they're looking for employment, then they come over to me. And I'm the business specialist in the department. So basically my role is just to start working with our consumer and get them excited about employment. And how I go about that is, you know, giving them information about the fact that the employer wants them out there in the workforce. And we start breaking down their barriers by, you know, taking away the I can't, I won't, it's not going to happen for me. An example that just happened was I had a young man that had been put into my, sent back to my employment essentials class. That's where I teach soft skills. And the young man was put in about, I'd say over 2 years, and he would keep dropping my class. He would go back to the counselor, he can't do it. He just was frustrated. He didn't want to have anything to do with what I was preparing him for. But, you know, I just let him go through the process. He was just put into my class again, going over soft skills, training, helping him to feel confident. About the 5th week, he went to the counselor and he started screaming to the counselor. He said, I finally got what Sandra's talking about. He was so excited. He said, she finally got through me. I'm never going to say I can't. I'm never going to say I won't. So let me read to you what he wrote me. I am a Black African-American male that's strong, charismatic, loving, caring, passionate. I'm smart, funny, wild, powerful. I will never again use words like can't, won't, don't. I'm a man of faith in God. I'm a God-fearing man. I have a huge heart for my family. I'm friendly to everyone that I come across, and I will never again let anything stand in my way of being the man I am today, right now. I am a miracle to my family and friends. I am hardworking, and when I put my mind to something, there's nothing on this earth that can stop me. I will never let negative thoughts or emotions get to me ever again. I am done with having that weight to weigh me down. I let go of everything, and I start today a new person. So I was crying my head off when when he read this to me, because he is going to go far, because the light bulb came on. He saw how important it is that he is needed out here, that he's worthy, that there's so much more for him. So that's just one of them. Another young man, had the opportunity, I was able to place him in a position. He was so nervous. His job was to assist in a mortuary. Well, the employer said, you know, let me start you out with some paperwork here, some invoicing. And so the young man said, okay, and she gave him a stack to complete. By the end of the day, he says, okay, I'm done, I've finished it all. The employer goes, there's no way he could have finished all this invoicing. So he said, okay, I'm going home. The employer double checked his work. And The employer goes, oh my gosh, he finished it all. It's perfect. It's awesome. He's amazing. So the employer said, Sandra, could you just give me like another 10? But that's just not the case. Everybody that I work with has strong abilities. You know, it's just about, my passion is about getting those gifts out, allowing them to see themselves for more than what they are. I go in and fight for them every day, you know, and they know this. I tell them all the time, I go, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing what I do. I don't feel comfortable getting up in front of people. I don't feel comfortable talking, but we have to get out of our comfort zone. And I want you to be there as a partner next to me. I don't want to be doing this and you're not out there with me, because you have things to say. You're important. You're the ones that matter, and you're the ones that are going to lead. You know, I need you to be the CEOs. I need you to come out and, you know, do a radio station, come out and run a radio station. You have everything it takes.
It's not that the talent and the ability and that isn't there. It's that you're giving them a chance to unlock that, right?
Right. Just ensuring that they see more for themselves.
I think we all need to do. I mean, that's not just limited to people with disabilities. That's something that's needed in general for all of us, you know, because
Correct.
There's so much that we can accomplish. But as we go through life, life beats us up and tells us, nah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't take risk. You shouldn't try this. You shouldn't go there.
In the office, I champion, you know, for the consumer to get up and speak, to get up and talk, to try different things. Networking, even when they're nervous, I said, you know, go out and do it. Just go out and try to meet one new person. One new person. That's all you got to do. And you never know what's going to happen for you when you got to meet that one new person. It's a possibility that could open up the door for employment. You don't know where it'll take you.
As humans, it's really, we want to label things and attach things to identify things. And so it sounds like some of the work that you do is remove some of those labels where
Absolutely.
You know, the gentleman that's like, I'm not going to say I can't. Even in the beginning of his letter, his statement, he's saying, wait a minute, here's what I am. Right. Like, because his whole life, he's probably been bullied, you know, or told, you'll never be good for anything. You can't do it. You're nothing. Right. And then you guys come in and you lift them up or cheerlead, build them and say, we're going to remove those labels and we're going to help you see that your abilities can get you beyond where you're at currently or where your state of mind is.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I think, and this also leads into the other huge piece, and Sandra's being very modest about this right now, but the big piece of what our business specialists are doing throughout the state, they are championing, of course, for our consumers, but we work on a dual customer approach, which the other partner is business. So we're talking to the business community and really learning that company culture about what a company is looking for. When they are putting a job posting out, who are they really recruiting for? And some of these companies, I've heard so many different things over the years that they like someone that has a twinkle in their eye, different things like that. So the business specialists are out there throughout the state working with companies, because disability, I mean, in all honesty, people are nervous about disability. They are scared about disability. They don't know what it's going to look like if a company hires, what the liability is, different things like that. These business specialists throughout the state, there's 100 of them. They go out and they talk to companies about disability awareness and etiquette training. We do another training that's called Windmills, and that's an attitudinal training, and it's kind of taking what we all grew up, all those bias we kind of had, and flip it on its head, so that we get that recruiters and the hiring managers to see things a little bit differently, and they get to see that there is somebody that's qualified, that Sandra's going to line them up with, versus my poor unfortunate soul. We're not looking for that. We have people that are very skilled and talented.
Just getting out there and talking to people and finding out what is out in the community and what the employers, what their needs are, and just getting my consumers and everybody excited about the fact that they're needed. They're absolutely needed in the community and with the job. And like us, we all want to be able to take care of our families. We all want to be able to provide. So, and they all want to feel needed and wanted in the community.
Yeah.
Well, and there's something about, like, I've always said that, like, when I sleep better at night when I've worked a hard day's work, right? Like,
Right.
I can go home and feel good about what I've accomplished that day. And I love feeling that I took care of whatever my task was for the day. And that is so empowering. And I that's one of the words that you guys are using a lot, is empowering. And I think people would say, oh yeah, you're empowering a certain population of people, but no, like, work itself is empowering.
Correct. Exactly. It's exciting to feel like you accomplished something in the workforce. And that's what I get them to understand. Go in with that good attitude. Show your employer that you have what it takes. Have the enthusiasm. Work with passion. That's going to move you further along than complaining and whining about, why do I have to be at that job? So we practice all that daily. And I'm excited about the employer seeing that the people that I work with, hey, they've been practicing this. It's not a joke. It's important that we feel passionate about our life and that we make a difference.
I have a couple questions. Like, have you helped assist people in like college or after high school, education?
Yes, we serve people. Well, we serve the youth, but we serve people. I've worked with adults, I think up to 70, 60, 70. So all ages come into my class when they come through the doors of DOR. And once they've finished working with the counselors and the counselors get them set up, that's when they are sent over to me.
Yeah.
So the Department of Rehabilitation, we do anything that really is required for somebody to go to work. So just like you're saying, if someone is needing to go to training, whatever that may be, if it's vocational training school or if it's to sometimes get higher education, we do whatever we can to support that individual to get them to where they are employable.
How did you get involved?
Well, I started with Department of Rehabilitation about 10 years ago, and I started as an office assistant and worked myself up into this position of business specialist. And originally when I got into this position, I was like, oh no, I can't do this job. No, I can't do it. And it's wound up being just a big passion of mine to really the people that I work with, I feel like I am the one that's more honored working with the people that I serve.
So similarly, I actually have a degree. I have a degree in vocational rehabilitation counseling, and that's what we do. Is we're the vocational rehab counselors that are behind the scenes, kind of walking someone through this at the beginning and through the whole process of it. And I got involved in this. I actually had a family member. I have a family member that has struggled with life and work and everything, and it just. I hope one day when that person needs assistance that I'm there, or someone else is there. And it's a great thing. And just like Sandra said, some people say, wow, you guys are making a difference. And it says, well, I'm making a difference, but I'm also accepted into this community. And that's huge. It's huge to be a part of that.
It's one of those things, I think also, when someone comes to you and they're like, oh, you couldn't possibly understand. And then you go, well, I may not know what you're doing, but I'm doing my best to understand, what you're trying to overcome or what you're trying to do. I get it. I don't walk in your shoes, but I try to imagine myself in that position.
Right. And the big thing that I tell all, the people that I work with, I tell them all the time, hey, you know what? You're no different than me. There's no difference between you and I, nothing at all. I go, you can do my job, you can do anything you want. And I think because I allow them to just be there with me, and I don't say, you're this, you're that, I don't put a label on you. I said, when you walk in the door with me, all that stuff is gone. So just throw it away, because none of that's going to work in here. We're going to change all that. From this day forward, you're a person of worth.
I have a feeling it's kind of a shock for them when you approach it like that.
Yeah, they're like, does she really care about us? And I'm like, you better believe I care about you. And if you want to see how much, you just push me, mister.
Isn't that crazy how, like, when you genuinely care about someone, like, it's like, wait a second, this isn't normal. Hold on, is this real? You know?
Yeah.
We have some chats going on. I'm going to ask Chris to go over to the chats and kind of read what's going on with the chats, because there's some activity happening over in the chat. And if you are watching right now, maybe on Facebook, maybe you're watching on our website or through some other medium, or you're watching this later when we're not live, you can join in the conversation and make sure to put your comments below or join in the live chat that we have going right now.
So Toussaint says, how long have they been doing this kind of work?
Well, I have been in this industry for 12 years. I've been with our department for 11 years. Like I said, I was a counselor for many of those years, and then now I work on the business side, talking to companies throughout the state of California on how we can be a hiring solution.
Yeah.
And again, for me, I've been with Department of Rehabilitation for 10 years, and I've been doing this for 6 years now, working as a business specialist, working with our consumers and empowering them to go out in the workforce.
That's so rad.
You know what I love is we are getting some great guests on our show, and you can tell just the way you guys are talking that and Sandra, I think you've already said it, that it's a passion of yours, right? That this is like, I fell into my job with ATAP. Like I answered an ad on Craigslist and showed up and thought I was working 40 hours a week and found out I was working 4 hours a week, but I fell in love with it, right? And it's so great to see people that are passionate about their job and are passionate about the things that they're accomplishing. And then when you're working with people, it always goes into you're passionate about those people and their accomplishments. And honestly, I feel like there's no better way to live.
You're right. Every day, there's hard days when I think, gosh, am I making a difference? Am I reaching people? But then when I get like this young man that wrote this for me, and started telling me, Sandra, I got it, Sandra. I'm like, oh my gosh, those are the days I live for, because that's one more person that believes in himself, that knows they can do it, and that's going to come alongside me now and start making a difference.
Yeah. With that, Dan was like, the light bulb goes on, right? Like when you ping,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And they get I'm unstoppable at this point. And Dan says, wow, if he could teach that to one other person, what an effect he could have on our world.
I think he was talking about the letter that you read earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Toussaint, he says, it's never about disability. It's always about abilities.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's really good.
Exactly. So true. Once we're in the classroom, I tell them, I don't want to hear anything about your so-called disability. That doesn't matter. And that's what's important for me. And they know it. They know it. They know that I care about them, that I love them, and I want the best for them. And I show it daily by getting it there and fighting. I said, hey, a boxer comes in to fight. He doesn't come in to play dead. So we're getting up and we're going to box. We're going to get out there in the world and we're going to show them that we got it.
Man, I do my best to live with a mantra of value every person.
Mm-hmm.
And even going beyond just valuing people, but adding value to them, like making them valuable. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're valuing them, and then you're adding value to them, helping them overcome the negative side, right? It's really easy to walk into a room that has been cleaned, and if you see a mirror that has a smudge on it, our eyes immediately go to the negative thing, and you go, the mirror's dirty. Like, that's gross, right? Like, it's real easy to focus on the negative, but rather than walking in and focusing on that negative, you're able to go, you know what, we're not talking or addressing the disability. Let's talk about what you can do or what we can pull out of you. And I think that's amazing. I just think that's amazing.
It is. I love it. I'm so excited. Every day when I go to work, it's new people, it's new energy. My coworkers, they're like family. There's my mentor, he's right here next to me, and his name is Toussaint. And, just everybody, my supervisors, everybody that support me know that it's a big passion of mine to see people be successful. And like you said, whether it's disability or not, I'm there 100% for them. I tell them, give me a call. Call me at night. You're feeling down, call me. If there's one person that's in your corner, and I've asked him, who's in your corner? And they say, well, nobody's on my side. My mom doesn't like me. My dad doesn't like me. And then I say, well, there's one person in your corner and they don't know who it is. And I go, hello, I'm right here. So they go, oh yeah, that's right. You are here, Sandra. I go, yes, don't forget this. I'm here to back you up. I'm here to push you. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, but you're going to get up and you're going to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I love too, one of the things that I love too that you guys are doing, I absolutely love this, is that you're not only breaking stereotypes within your, the consumers that you're working with, but you're breaking stereotypes into business owners and people in the workforce, and you're breaking this stigma or this thing that's in our society about people that may lack in certain areas, and I love that you shared that, that the guy who said, oh, I need more like him, I need more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because honestly, I mean, I'm thinking he probably had this assumption, okay, well, I'll give him some busy work and we'll see how he does, and like, wait a second, he met expectations and went above and beyond what I was expecting. And that just completely changes the perception. I mean, somebody's complete perception of others. And that's amazing too.
Oh, exactly. The employer's like, wow, I mean, this guy's amazing. He can do a whole week's worth of work and he can get it all completed. And I said, it's that I want them to fall in love with the people that I serve as much as I fall in love with them. And once they see that, once they fall in love with that person, I mean, it's the sky's the limits from there. The employer is gaining a person just eagerly waiting to work hard for them, to learn and to be a part of something bigger than themselves. So it's exciting for me. I don't get enough of this. I could do it all day long. And I just got to say briefly to all my students out there, okay, your teacher came out and did something uncomfortable. It's your turn in class. We're going to get you out there and do something uncomfortable. So I'm excited. We're going to do this.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being with us. Like, we really appreciate it. And if somebody's watching right now and they're saying, this is something, like if there's an employer watching and they're saying, I need to get a hold of you guys, or I need to get a hold of, can you guys give us the information on how people can get a hold of you, like what the website is? And that way we'll link it below as well so that people have access to it that way.
Awesome. Well, our website is dor.ca.gov. And if you go under there, depending on who you are, if you're a parent that's looking for services for your child, there is a link on there to find which county you're in and what's the closest office. If you're a business owner or a company that really wants to connect and have great qualified people come to your next, job, opening or whatever it may be, there's a section under there for employers or businesses. So they're all our resources are there under dor.ca.gov.
Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
We're a little bit over, but we're going to hang out in the chat just a little bit longer. If you want to join us in the chat, you need to be here live. So if you're watching this later and you want to join us in the chat, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to tune in next week at 11 a.m. 2 p.m.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes.
you guys so much for being here. We're so thankful that you are here with us.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.